have a question, and this is not intended to be disrespectful, unless you actually get mad at this. And if you do get mad at this, then it was intended to be disrespectful to the specific few of you. But a serious question. Why are the Masters such a big deal? Has anyone ever sat back and just wondered why? I'm curious, truly curious. I get it. The course is beautiful. It's selective. Only a few players are allowed to play in the tournament. There's a process of getting tickets, and everyone's so excited when you get those tickets. You aren't allowed to have a cell phone on you. They go Dave Chappelle concert, right? Your phone not on you the entire time, so you go back in time a little bit. And then everyone just says, the tradition, the prestige, the history. And that's what I don't get. So I Googled this, and thanks to the help of artificial intelligence, asking, why is the Masters such a big deal? Unique history, tradition, and prestige. Oh, it's the same thing everyone's saying. But what is it? That's what's so funny to me. Again, let's all be in agreement here. The prestige, the history. But why?
Yes.
Why is the history historic?
That is the question, because I have this, like, I know that it's the biggest deal.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Exactly.
I understand that they own their own branding. That's why it looks the same every year. Like, they have their own thing that they do.
The yellow flag, the green jacket.
Yes. I like you, am wondering how we got here.
Right.
Like, what's the story? Basically, the Masters number one tournament in golf.
Yes.
We're not
even
debating
close. It's not close.
How did it get there?
Right. That's what I want to
asking.
know. That's truly it. So I'm looking this up, and guess what? Artificial intelligence sometimes helps you out. I asked, when did the Masters become a big deal? After asking why.
Good question.
The Masters tournament rise to prominence as a major golf event is often linked to the 1960s, fueled by the popularity of Arnold Palmer and the increasing availability of television. Its roots go back to the 1930s. It was founded in 1934 by Bobby Jones and Clifford Roberts. Interesting. Seems like Bobby Jones is on hold. 713-780-3776 to call, to text. The most interactive sports talk show in Houston. Bobby Jones, Bobby, I'm glad you're still kicking it, because if you founded this in 1934, I'm assuming you're in your hundreds. Shout out to you. Hope the blue pills, helping you out, because I would imagine you'd need one at this moment. Bobby, what you got? What explain the Masters to me.
Tell you that Paul Galone and Sean Maves. It's a fine God-given day for a par 3 tournament, isn't it? I mean, can you believe this glorious thing? I can't believe you're asking a question like, how is the Masters the most beautiful tournament in golf? Well, let me tell you something. All those years ago, I just set out to design the most perfect, most challenging golf course on the planet that we call Earth. And guess what, son? I achieved that. Now, another thing that people don't know about Augusta is the amount of sexual perversion that happens in the clubhouse.
Oh.
Now, it's a very, very friendly place for sexual experimentation.
What?
And we discovered this. Look, back in the day, I'm not going to lie to you. We were exclusionary. We wouldn't let people like Tiger Woods on. But once we did, that boy went out, and boy, what did he do?
You can't call him boy, Bobby. You can't call him boy.
Oh no, that man, that young man, gloriously represented what the club means to America, and that is sexual perversion. So you can't look at this golf club and all of these fine players playing just the most amazing shots and just those beautiful manicured course and not think of stuff like S&M and things that just things that you do in the locker room that most people don't talk about.
All right. Well, Bobby Jones, we appreciate you joining us. Thought you died in 1971, but good to see you're still with us. So we just got a call from a ghost. Well, I'm a little bit creeped out by that. Bobby, Bobby,
am I still on?
You're still on, Mr. Ghost.
Oh, I would like to say that most people think that I died of natural causes back then, but I died of autoerotic asphyxiation.
The late Bobby Jones, everybody. He died in 1971. We learned something new about the Masters every single day. And I guess there's sexual perversion going on at the Masters. Why is the Masters a big deal? Like that's all I want to know. I never heard about the perversions, but if that's part of the prestige and the tradition, fine. Uh, from the 713, why is the Super Bowl a big deal? The World Series, because those are the championships. Like that's why they're the big deal. I get the question being asked back, though rather snobbily by clearly some sort of golf snob. What's so hard for you to understand here? But it's the first major. That's what's weird to me. Look, beautiful course. I'd love to go sometime. I'm not a huge golf fan, but I do watch generally the last round of the Masters. I like it. But the question I'm asking here is why did it become the golf event? Like it's
Yes.
just for every single other thing becoming a big deal, it makes sense. The NBA championship, Major League, the World Series, the
Final
World Cup,
Four.
the Super Bowl, like that makes sense to me. This one is different. You can't deny that.
Yes, because if the Super Bowl had 3 other games that were also like you also got the Super Bowl championship for, like it would be spread out among them. Like you wouldn't think that there's one major event that's so much higher than the rest. Like why isn't the US Open on the same level as the Masters?
It's a great question.
Tradition and prestige and
Right, tradition, prestige,
sexual perversion.
yada yada yada, sexual perversion. We learned that today. I get that it's only at Augusta. All these other places,
Travel,
U.S. Open,
yeah.
British Open, Ryder
PGA,
Cup,
yeah.
Players Championship. I would imagine. Although
PGA Championship's the 4th one.
isn't there one there's one that's always at Sawgrass, but that's not officially a major. I mean, what about the Waste Management Open? Why isn't that the most prestigious golf event? It's the first one and it's fun. You see people getting plastered, crapping their pants, falling on the green, puking all over themselves. Why isn't that number one? Seriously. People are getting mad at me for asking this question, but I just want to know why are the Masters the big deal? Why are they the biggest deal of all the deals? From the 832, it's a tough course. I mean, that makes sense. Someone says it's like the Super Bowl for golf. True. I'm not denying that, but it's weird that it's the first event.
That's the thing. There's 3 Super Bowls later in the same year.
Yeah. And some people like the Ryder Cup more than those. And
that's more like the Olympics.
And the Players Championship is kind of a major. And there's the little island thing, right? I know golf. People are saying ask Granado. Maybe we need to have on Granado. I'm just going to ask all these questions and do it in a really patronizing and insulting way.
We should.
So I'm sure John would.
We should bother Granado, probably on a golf course.
I'd love that. Yeah, like ask him in his backswing, like, "Hey, John, why are the Masters a big deal?
Yeah,
can you explain it to me?" I do sound rather basic right now. Brian has a thought on the Masters at 713-780-3776. Brian, why are the Masters a big deal?
So why is the Daytona 500 a big deal? It's the first race of the NASCAR season.
Is it the biggest deal of all NASCAR races,
kind of
Brian?
the same way.
Is the Daytona 500 the number one?
Yeah, it's number one.
Okay. Truly, I wouldn't know on NASCAR. Okay. That is more of an argument, but it is strange to me. It was just curious today, a little bi-curious. It is strange to me, Brian, that this is the single biggest one. And everyone, when you're asking them about it, they're like, well, prestige, history, tradition.
Well, I mean, I wanted the same thing, but my family's been watching it as long as I can remember, and they start showing the history, and I agree with you on that. But the 500 was the only one I could compare to.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
that makes sense, though, Brian. Appreciate the phone call. And look, to that element, hey, you're watching with your family, and you see Arnold Palmer, and then Jack Nicklaus, and then Tiger Woods. Like, hey, do not get me wrong. Like, this is not me dumping on the Masters, which I was debating doing as a bit, but I realized that people aren't going to probably like that. But it is interesting that it is, of all the golf events, it's the golf event. And we all just agree on it. But it's not like it has necessarily any more importance than the other golf tournaments of the season, specifically the majors.
Like we put the importance on it, the extra importance on it. I like comparing it to the Daytona 500. That to me makes sense.
Because another texter said, hey, signifies the start of the golf season. And in Texas, since you can play golf all year round, we perhaps take it a little bit for granted. That's fair.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, Georgia too, my bad. But yeah, I guess for the nation.
From the 337, you can't say the World Series is a big deal. You claim not to watch it. Ooh, good point. I did not watch this World Series. Who won?
I forgot.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember who won last year, the year before that either.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't watch that one. Yeah. Guess we'll never know.
We'll never know who won the last 2 World Series.
From the 832, the Masters, the kickoff of the golf season. Augusta, the flowers blooming. They are pretty nifty. The yellow.
Again, I will say
It is pretty.
They nailed the presentation.
For
They
sure.
nailed the course.
They got the great Jim Nance on the call.
Yeah.
And Jim Nance loves it, but I feel like Jim Nance is probably feeding into it with how much he loves it. Like, what if it wasn't Jim Nance that was on the call for this? What if it was just some other random
Tom
guy?
Brenneman? Yeah.
Well, yeah, what if it was like Kevin Harlan or something like that? Who I think is the best play-by-play voice. Like, I doubt that Kevin Harlan would have the same love of the Masters that he has for basketball.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because
Like, he's a great steward of golf.
Did you see Jim Nance is going to retire from calling golf? Did you see what year he said he's going to?
What is it, like 2036 or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
He
It's
gave
like,
an 11-year heads up.
I like that. I like that.
Some would say it's a look at me move to have an 11-year.
I would never say that.
11-year.
That's my fellow Coug you're talking about, bro. Okay. It's the most interactive sports talk show in Houston. Why are the Masters a big deal? It sounds like a stupid question, but no, we've always established that it's the #1 golf event.
Yes, we're not saying it shouldn't be a big deal. We're just asking why. We're just curious little cats today.
We are curious little cats. Meow. For the 409, comparing it to the other majors, you get 5 majors over the course of the year. Tour exemption. Okay, see, that's not helping the case out. That is a complicated explanation, sir.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there were some typos there. And again, be careful when you text and drive, y'all. Be careful when you text and drive. For the 281, Kevin Harlan doing golf with slap. I would love it, or Gus Johnson doing it, because it would piss off the golf old heads.
You'd hear them like on the course.
I just want the golf traditionalists to be annoyed because I'm annoying like that. This country club lifestyle, which eventually I will be a part of. Like, I know that when I get older and I want to escape my when I want to, play a sport and hang out with the guys, escaping my family in the process, that I will become a huge golf guy. But for now, no family to escape, no need to golf, in my opinion, because that's what it's all about. From the 443, not every player can play there. You have to qualify. That's true. Blacks couldn't play there either. That was bad.
Or women.
Women still can, I think.
Oh, can they not?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Stay in the kitchen and make me a pimento sandwich, girl. That's what they all say. That's what I heard. How and why did the Masters become the unanimous, undebatable, biggest deal in golf? I'm truly curious. Texter, I think it's #1 because of the better production value. It's made available to the masses in a way that has a fantastic website. You can watch the whole tournament, where other tournaments you are watching things on tape delay. They're broadcast on weird channels at strange hours. The actual telecast of golf is truly one of the trickier things to pull off. The fact that they have been doing it as long as they have, where they can go from hole to hole, and some of these holes are being shown live and some on tape delay, and it does seem seamless. I would say top to bottom across all golf, that is probably the most impressive thing that golf does.
Especially, like we said, back when at least the Masters started getting televised in the 60s. Like, think about how many different angles they have for all these different, and I'm sure some of these are more modern. Like, I'm sure the 1965 broadcast looks different than this one, but you probably need like 4 or 5 different cameras for each hole.
Yep. And
18 times. So you need a lot of manpower just to make this work.
And then think of all the different broadcasters who were calling it. I mean, obviously,
yeah, there's
Nance, who's the #1 guy, and there's Scott Van Pelt for the first couple of days with ESPN. But I mean, there's other people that are on
there's
it.
a world feed.
Right. I mean, you're jumping all over the place. Yeah, I'm sure there's people doing it in different languages. I like this response from Aggie Matt. I compare it to Shark Week. Gotta watch.
That, you know what? That helped explain it to me.
Gotta watch is a simple yet very effective answer.
It is gotta watch.
Because you do watch it. Like, I'm not the most diehard sports guy. And golf, like tennis, two sports I'm not the biggest fans of, but I do watch at the very least the final round of the
No,
Masters.
I downloaded the app.
This is the one that I'll watch, and I'm like, I'm not only watching because I want to see if Tiger Woods is going to play. By the way, Tiger Woods not playing.
No,
He has a torn Achilles.
and dating that woman.
That
That's not why he's not playing. But
yes,
those are like back-to-back updates that we got on Tiger Woods.
Trump's son's ex-wife.
Yes.
It would be equivalent to Wimbledon, Kentucky Derby. Kentucky Derby, I'll allow to a degree, but the Kentucky
get it.
Derby
I
was
get
a horse racing was a huge deal back in the day. It has aged poorly. Golf has gotten better over time, but we have constantly come back to the agreed upon, and everyone agrees on it. Masters are the biggest deal, and I want to know, like, when were we all like, yeah, this is the biggest deal?
You know what? Maybe it's different, but it's kind of like the Rose Bowl too in that way.
Ooh, that's a good one where there's a lot of importance, but it's not necessarily the granddaddy of them all, even though they have branded themselves the granddaddy of them.
Yeah, it's like sometimes what this year is a quarterfinal game. You know, it was Ohio State, Oregon. So it has its own kind of special place. It is at the top.
Mhm.
It is one of the major bowl games, just like this one of the major tournaments. And it has the same deal where it's so much about like the scenery and
Yeah.
everything around it. You think about they play it at a specific time so that you get the sunset in there. So
that's true.
yeah, I think Daytona. It's funny. The Masters. You're just like the Daytona 500 or the Rose Bowl. I'm sure they love that being compared to a NASCAR.
Oh
event.
yeah, like the things that they think are for trashy people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't respect Wimbledon because F the English, we fought a war against them. Paul, they're our biggest allies right now. Cool.
Are they?
Yeah,
Well,
how
these
about-
tariffs.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a tariff, bitch. Provide
Right
more
there.
to NATO. There you go. Koogblay says it's the hardest tournament to get into. That's true.
Yeah, I do like that. I like how small the field is.
I do too. And definitely makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, it makes it way easier to watch.
Texter says need an extra dose of insulin just to watch the Masters. Put you to sleep. Again, golf is the one sport that we watch where even though this is the biggest deal, we are all pretty cool taking a little nap while watching the Masters in particular. It is rather soothing. Hearing the music in the background.
Well, and all the broadcasters talk like they can't raise their voice.
Right. It's like listening to NPR on a Saturday morning, like the muffin show. Like, here's how you make a blueberry muffin. Make sure you give it a little Crisco in the pan. And then when you put the blueberries in, you make sure that they're a little bit frozen so that when they're in the oven, the moisture from the water and part of the frozen makes it a lot more delectable. And then you're like, oh, you're out because that's Jim Nantz talking about a hole in
Or it's like ASMR. Because they have like they'll just lay out and let like the birds do the talking for a little while.
Multiple people have brought up, and we talked about this in the last segment we were talking about. So it's always the same event, same location every year. I get that, and again, the presentation side of it, they do a great job. The presentation and the fact that it's there every single year means that you are constantly aware of where this is played, who's allowed on it. Like they've done a good job of building up the tradition.
It's appointment television.
I'm just wondering at what point did it become big? And you know what? To the people who are asking the same thing about the Super Bowl, football's our most popular sport. But how did the Super Bowl become the biggest deal when no one respected the AFL, which the NFL merged with for the first two Super Bowls? Like, how did it go from being the football championship game to being the most important sporting event in terms of eyeballs viewing it of the year? So that, okay, that's a similar question to ask. What else do we have here? Oh, someone was saying our idea of Kevin Harlan or Gus Johnson on the call for the Masters would be great. Like someone, let's just do a little play-by-play here. Ricky Fowler, one shot to win the Masters from 30 feet away. Bang! As it gets in.
Or the
I would love that.
The Gus-gasm. Ah!
Or Nance-gasms.
Yeah.
Romo-gasm. Ooh.
Oh, you know, I wonder how many times Romo's hit up Nance to be like, hey, can you get me on this?
Oh,
And
every
I would
time.
love to be on
Every time. He probably does it in the middle of like the AFC Championship.
in the middle of a play.
He could have done it in the middle of the Texans game. That's for sure. Anthony's got a thought on the Masters. 713-780-3776 to call it the text. Anthony, what's up?
Hey, Paul, good afternoon. Hey, I think the Masters, because of the exclusivity of the club, the fact that nobody in America can get into there any other time of the year except for those 4 days, the fact that the caddies have to wear the little onesies, they just set themselves apart from everything so much more with just that little oomph that nobody else has. And then also the fact that Bill Murray in Caddyshack, young Cinderella player, hometown boy, he brought it up first.
Okay. I mean, the movie Caddyshack could theoretically have played into it too.
Probably helped.
Yeah.
Probably at the very least helped.
Did they play it at that would be hilarious.
No,
The Gopher was at Augusta.
It was at some country club. But the fantasy that Bill Murray was the insane character that Bill Murray was playing. It was him winning Augusta.
The Masters would be so pissed if they did like a Caddyshack 2, which they did. Apparently, was terrible. But if they did a Caddyshack 2 and the Gophers like doing the stupid dance to Kenny Loggins.
They didn't even let him do.
I don't want that to happen, just to make the old heads mad. I'm sorry. I like chaos.
Happy Gilmore. They have to do like a fake master.
Yes, you're right.
Where what's the color
gold
jacket?
It was the gold
jacket. Yeah. Where the whatever final thing. It's like the TV truck falls apart and he has to like mini golf it into the hole.
I actually wonder if in Happy Gilmore 2, given what a big deal Happy Gilmore 1 was.
Oh, can they make it happen?
Can they have Happy Gilmore wearing a green jacket?
I think for continuity, you have to.
Yeah, it's got to be the gold jacket.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's the Paul Gallant Show, most interactive sports talk show in Houston. This has been a fun 30 minutes that I didn't see coming. I just got curious.
This is our Masters coverage. We might do some some Masters coverage later in the week. Probably more in the vein that you would think that this show does. But I feel like I've learned some things.
I do too.
I learned a lot about Bobby Jones.
A lot.
More than I probably wanted to.
Prestige, history, sexual perversions in the clubhouse. How the Masters became the master of golf. I'm Jim Nantz. Just kidding. Paul Gallant Show, ESPN 97.5, 92.5, 713-780-3776 to call, to text on YouTube at ESPN Houston, on Twitch at ESPN 975. Someone's asking us to make picks on the Masters. Well, as the biggest golf experts at this station, we've got to give that to you.
Oh, yeah. God.
John Granado ain't got bleep on us, right? Who's Tiger Woods? That's who I'm picking, right? What's Tiger Woods' odds to win? I bet that some website has the odds out there, like bet on Tiger Woods. He just shows up and his like Achilles is like just his ankles dangling from his legs. The poor guy. It does suck that he's hurt.